sprechen, aber es ist ein ganz spezieller Spieler.
I know you
Das
don't
war
really
Thomas
like
Müller. Erstes Spiel
talking
gespielt von
about
Anfang an, im zweiten
players
hat Thomas Partey den
individually.
Vorzug gegeben, aber
Thomas
jedes
Müller
seiner Spiele könnte jetzt das letzte sein für Bayern.
could
Kannst du uns ein bisschen
be playing
was
his
sagen, wie
very
groß die
last
Chancen sind, dass
match
wir ihn morgen
at
von Anfang
any
an sehen,
time?
wie viel Spielzeit er noch kriegt und
How are
was die Entscheidung
chances that
zuletzt
he's
war,
going to be
dass er eben
playing
nicht
from the very
gespielt hat,
beginning
ist es eben trotzdem noch.
tomorrow? And
Ja, über
what's
Spielzeit
the
morgen
outlook?
werde ich nichts
How
sagen.
much playing time is he going to get? I'm not going
Über,
to say how much playing time
über
he's
die
going to get
Aufstellung ist einfach
tomorrow.
eine Sache von
Regarding
Konkurrenz. Wir haben viel
the
Qualität
lineup,
vorne
it's a
und im
question of
Kader. Und
competition. We have lots of quality in our squad.
ja, jeder hat seine Rolle und jede Rolle ist wichtig für uns.
Everyone
Deswegen
has an
muss ich
important
ehrlich
role to
sagen, ich
fulfill.
schaue nicht ganz viel
So
auf die Individuen und wie viele Minuten.
I
Für mich ist
don't
einfach wichtig, dass das Kollektiv
focus too much
stimmt
on the
und
individuals. I rather focus on the
dann sind die
collective
meistens dann stark und
performance,
das war bis jetzt der
making
Fall.
sure that it works for everyone. And I know that it's being very strong.
Vincent, es ist ja
Sport
viel
1,
über das Wetter und die Hitze
Vincent,
gesprochen worden. Manche sprechen von
they've been
107
talking
Grad
about
Fahrenheit, also fast
the
40 Grad,
weather
40 Grad
and the
Fieber, gut
heat.
gesagt,
Some
40
mentioned
Grad Hitze.
104
Wie
grad
haben Sie die Mannschaft
Fahrenheit,
darauf
almost 40
vorbereitet
degrees
und sehen Sie
heat.
das vielleicht auch kritisch, dass bei
How did you
solchen Bedingungen
prepare your
Fußball
team?
gespielt wird
And do
um
you
15 Uhr
find
Nachmittag?
it
Ja, also ich muss das
critical
nicht
to say
beurteilen, ob
that
das kritisch ist oder
football is
nicht. Also
played
das
under
können
such
die
circumstances at 3
medizinische
o'clock
Experten
in the
vielleicht besser
afternoon?
erklären.
I'm
Aber es
sure
gibt
that
natürlich
doctors will be
ein
more
Faktor
competent to
morgen,
answer this question.
dass es
Of
sehr heiß
course,
wird. Es ist natürlich auch so, dass das
heat is going to be an important factor
ein Spiel
tomorrow. It's going to
beeinflussen
be very
kann, aber das
hot.
ist für beide
It
Mannschaften das
may
Gleiche.
have an
Also das ist
impact
das
on the
Einzige, was
match, but
fair ist,
it's the
dass
same
Benfica
challenge
das
for both
Gleiche
teams, and that's
erleben
fair. So
wird wie uns.
Benfica is going to
Aber
experience
ja,
the same weather
schon, wenn es sich
conditions as
anfühlt
we
wie
do.
40 Grad,
But of
muss man
course, if
schauen.
it
Also
feels
es ist
like
auf jeden
40
Fall nicht die
degrees,
gleiche
we have to
Situation
see how
wie
to
in der
deal with
Champions
it.
League,
So
wo
it's
es für uns
certainly
im
not the
Winter war,
same
wo wir gegen die
situation
gespielt
as
haben. Das ist morgen
with the
total
Champions
anders.
League seasons where we
Ähm,
played in winter.
Das wird das Spiel beeinflussen auf jeden
The
Fall, aber
weather
wir
does
werden auf
play
jeden
a
Fall
role,
damit
but of
planen,
course,
dass wir uns nicht überraschen lassen, weil es so warm ist.
we won't be surprised.
Yes, please.
Yes, hello, Arch Bell with FIFA.com. Vincent, can you just highlight for all of us here what stands out about Benfica when you look at them and how you approach this game? What stands out about Benfica?
Well, we played them before, so it's a team we know really well. And there's always the two sides to these games. We play against teams who are extremely dominant in the league, with high quality. I think Pavlidis, Di Maria, Aktürkoğlu and Kokshu and so on and so on, and I can keep naming them. They're all players who can score goals. They're all players who are used to be killers in the leagues. And obviously then for them, when they play against teams like us, there's always this mix between sometimes adapting to the opponent or continuing and finding the balance between still continuing your way. So you see these games being not always as predictable because you're watching a lot of games from them where they're super dominant. But tomorrow we have the same goal as we have the same ambition for that game. So in that sense, it creates sometimes a different picture than what you actually see on a day-to-day basis from them because they're always the best in the league.
Auch in der ersten Reihe Vincent Kompany für TZ Merkur.
Hallo Herr Kompany, welche Unterschiede haben Sie bislang
Hi, Mr.
zwischen
Kompany.
europäischen und
Which
südamerikanischen Teams
difference
festgestellt?
have you
Also nur
noticed
liegt darauf,
between
dass wir jetzt
European
bei
and
der
South
Reputation of
American
Flamengo jetzt
teams?
morgen Benfica ganz viele
And
verschiedene
what
Teams
about
mit verschiedenen Profilen begegnet. Wie wichtig ist es da, flexible Spieler
teams
zu haben, um auf diese
like
verschiedenen Systeme
Chelsea
eingehen zu können?
with many different
Ja, aber ich glaube, dass
profiles?
taktisch auch viel
How
passiert
can you
in
react to that?
Deutschland und in Europa. Das
I
heißt,
think that tactically there's a lot
das ist, glaube ich,
happening
im
in
modernen
Germany and
Fußball
Europe at the
ganz
moment.
normal, dass man
That's normal for
manchmal
modern
ein oder zwei oder
football,
dreimal in einem Spiel ein bisschen umstellen muss. Aber man
that
ändert die
you
Prinzipien
change
nicht. Man
positions
auf jeden Fall die Prinzipien nicht zu ändern. Und die südamerikanischen
you
Mannschaften haben das natürlich
usually
gut
try to
gemacht,
stick to
aber
the
ich glaube,
same
ich habe das letzte
principle.
PK gesagt, ist auch
The
keine
South
Überraschung,
American teams
wenn man die
did well
Qualität
in
kennt
that,
in
but that's
Südamerika
no
und wie das Spiel
surprise
lebt.
if you know
Das
about
Einzige, was natürlich
South
ein
American
großes
football and its
Unterschied ist, wie das
quality.
in Südamerika
The only main
lebt, dieses
difference
Turnier.
is
Und wie das,
that those tournaments
ich weiß, für
have a
uns
special
alle hier ist
character
das wahrscheinlich
in
jetzt
South
eine
America.
absolute Priorität. Wir sehen das jetzt auch genau so. Aber ich glaube, in Europa gibt es noch einen Unterschied, wie wir das erleben und wie das hier in Amerika und Südamerika, auf jeden Fall die Südamerikaner das erleben.
And I think
Aber
it's a
sonst
different
keine große
approach
Überraschungen. Und wir
that
wissen,
we have, that
gegen Boca
European
zum
teams
Beispiel haben wir
have in
gesehen, wie viel die
comparison to
Emotionen auch eine
South
Rolle spielt
American
in diesen
ones.
Spielen. Nicht nur das
Emotions
Taktische, nicht nur
play
das
a
Körperliche.
very important role here. It's not
Aber
only
ich
about
glaube,
tactical
jetzt bist du in dieses
maneuvering,
Rhythmus und ist es auch nicht mehr so überraschend,
about
weil wir haben so viele Spiele gesehen jetzt.
physical game,
On the left side.
but still it's no surprise. We know about that.
For Juventus Sports. Going into your second year,
Juventus.
coming off of a very successful first season, and these past two matches, what are some things that you have seen that you can say that you can, the team can still improve going into the third match and then moving forward in the tournament?
Yeah, I mean, I think for us I mean, it's asking a little bit about last season as well and what the conclusions are from last season. I think we've been the better team in most games. I don't think there's many games. There will be 1 or 2 or 3 games that you'll find where, of course, we had an off day. That happens. But I don't think you'll find many games where we were ever not the better team. But of course, you want to win all the trophies, and for that you need to be there in every big moment as well. And you need to have all your players available, fit. So if there's anything I could wish for our team, I mentioned some of the underlying numbers to our performance that are really positive in one of the last press conferences. But if I'm looking forward towards what we want for the future, of course, is just in the big moments having all our players available so that we give ourselves the best possible chance to win the other trophies as well, to win more. But it's football, I was looking at the other day. I was just sat across Thomas Müller, and I realized that obviously he won 2 Champions League, which is unbelievable. But he has 17 attempts or 18 attempts, and that's how demanding these competitions are. And the Club World Cup is maybe even less attempts that you get, and so these big competitions are about big moments, and for that you need your squad to be fully there, and so that's how we're trying to work our way towards the next step, because in the content we showed a lot of promising signs.
Next one in the last row. Can you show your hand, please? Yeah.
Hi. Hello, Vincent. Would you buy a draw tomorrow? It could be a good result for both teams because of the hit.
I cannot speak about a draw. It's impossible.
And the another question: what Benfica do you expect tomorrow? Different from the Benfica from the Champions League?
Honestly, I don't know. I know what they did against us in the Champions League very, very clearly. They were extremely compact in a 5-3-2. They were trying to use transitions with the wing backs and the 2 strikers they had, releasing sometimes one of the midfielders. That was very clear. But we were more or less, always pushing and pushing them really deep. So for us, it wasn't a bad game at all. And then obviously the rest of the games, and when you watch them against Boca, they were more aggressive in a back 4, trying to press higher, trying to also dominate the game. So because it's 2 different sides, it's for us the best way to prepare these games is to prepare for both scenarios, or maybe 2 or 3 scenarios. And if they're in a deep block, we will be prepared. If they press high, we will do our homework as well, and the how they will play tomorrow, I think only the Benfica players and the coach can answer.
Next one on the right side, yeah, please.
Hi, Vincent. You have worked in a few clubs. You have a lot of experience. I would like to hear your thoughts on Bayern's mentality, because the club is known for its hard work and professionalism. So I would like you, to hear what you think about that, please.
Yeah, I think it's something we will even share with many clubs at this World Cup, because all the clubs here are winners in one way or another. It's the same at, I can imagine it's the same at Benfica. I think it's something we live every day. It's that sort of a feeling that even winning is not enough. You're always looking for more. If you perform well and you don't win, it's a story. If you win and you don't perform well, it's a story. And if you win but you don't win everything, it's also something, right? So, but I think that's what we're used to as well. So I think, other than that, there's obviously a very strong cultural side for Bayern Munich, where I think the sort of minimum expectation is that you show real hard work. I think that's something that for a top club and a top team is definitely lives very strongly here, at the center. So we try and match these expectations, and then the exciting part about football is everything else is, as long as you're in the game, as long as you're there, you have a chance to achieve the best things, and at a club like this it's possible, and people believe in that.
And left side.
Hi, Vincent.
Second row, yes.
It's special to see Otamendi again.
Yeah, for sure. We've played many games together at each other's side. I think we both used to be, we love the physical side of the game. We love the painful side of the game as well, and it's always good to see him, of course. And I have good memories, fantastic memories that we experienced together.
Back to the right side, yes, please.
Hallo, Company, Hendrik Buchheiser vom RND. Mich würden Ihre ersten Eindrücke zu Jonathan Tah in
Buchheiser.
1-1 gegen Boca nicht ganz glücklich aus. Wie fügt er sich ein auf dem Platz und auch neben dem Platz?
So what about Tah? He didn't look very happy with the draw.
Dass ein Spieler sich sofort wohlfühlt, wenn er bei uns im Kader kommt. Ich glaube,
Last time
Talent, Qualitäten, Fähigkeiten
in Qatar.
Nicht zu lange zu diskutieren. Er hat schon alles
I think it's normal that it takes some time for a player to adapt, and he performed outstandingly in the German Bundesliga.
Als Führungsspieler sein. Also,
I hope he's going to be a leading player shortly.
Auf Einzelsituationen sagt, es ist wegen eines Spielers, dass wir ein Tor bekommen oder so.
I don't try to focus on single matches or single players. Things like this happen. In the end, what we have to focus on is performance. It's important for the player to comply with the level that we expect. And I think this is something that he lives up to. We just mentioned that you also use your free time, or some of us, to play golf or to chill at the pool. Do you do the same? No chance at all. But for the guys, for the lads, they try to keep the balance. They train hard.
Dass da schön viel gefragt wird von den Jungs, alle. Aber danach, okay, normalerweise, wenn wir in München sind, gehen die nach Hause.
The expectations are high. Usually when we play in Munich, we make sure we still get some family time and we don't live the cabin fever.
Cabin Blues. Schönes Wort.
Cabin blues.
Alle verstanden, oder? Gut, das ist das.
You know what I mean. That's what matters.
Diese Kabinenfieber.
So I want to make sure they don't suffer from cabin fever.
Wichtig, dass wir nicht auf einmal vergessen, wie normales Leben ist, und dass wir.
So we have to make sure we don't forget about real life, and that they strike the right balance between football and their personal life, to make sure that they show up fully recharged the next day. Mr. Kompany, you already mentioned that this tournament is perceived differently in Europe than in South America. Of course, you'd like to win this tournament.
Was ist denn neben dem sportlichen Anreiz, das Turnier zu gewinnen, Ihr bisheriger Eindruck jetzt, wo die
Apart from
Gruppenphase
the
bald vorbei ist? Es gab am Anfang leere Ränge, dann eine deutlich bessere Stimmung gegen die
incentive
Boca Juniors.
to win this
Jetzt kommt es hier
game,
gegen Benfica Lissabon. Was sind Ihre Eindrücke?
now
rund um das
you are
Turnier?
playing Benfica. What about your impressions regarding this tournament?
Und
How
ich bin auch ein Fußballliebhaber und ich weiß,
did you perceive it? My perception has been absolutely positive so far.
Es gab sehr viele Leute immer im Stadion. Das war
Our
natürlich für uns
stadiums
ein anderes
were
Gefühl vielleicht
always,
wie andere Mannschaften, aber das Wichtige ist,
we always had lots of spectators. I know that may not always have been the case for other
afrikanische Mannschaften,
teams.
asiatische Mannschaften auch.
So maybe the African and Asian teams can start playing a role within this tournament if you want to look at it from a more objective perspective.
Gemeinsamen Wettbewerb sehen und
And in the end, it's a great chance to see different teams in a common tournament. It's a great experience. There has been raised lots of criticism because of the overstraining of players in this tournament. Which positive aspects would you see regarding this tournament? Because when you spend such an intense time with your team,
Welchem Trainertyp kommt das eher zugute? Also mit einer komplexen Vorstellung von Fußball, also dass man vielleicht Dinge einstudieren kann.
which sort of trainers do benefit from this sort of tournament?
So if there is an advantage for us being here in comparison to clubs who are not here, that I don't know. I think there's two sides to the argument. I think there's the argument of us building team cohesion and spending time, and it's perhaps faster for the integration of players like Jonathan Tah and Tom Bischoff and players who are just joining, because normally you have to have a pre-season and a lot of games. Here you're straight in the middle of it, so maybe in that sense. But in the end, I think there's a counter argument as well that for the next season we will have almost no preparation. I mean, if you look at all the scientific research around what is the right type of preparation to prepare a new season, I mean, we are just we're throwing the book away and we're just going to start the new season with all the pressures that you have to win every game as well. So I think in that sense, there's two sides to the argument. But, you know, in general, I've not seen, in general, it's been a different experience because I think going with the national team to a tournament, because I think that's what it gets compared to the most, you have this long time without each other, and then you just all of a sudden you land together, and you know you use every day because you need to get to know each other as a team as well. We already know each other, and so it's a totally new experience to go and then spend another 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks together for a tournament. But it's got its advantages as well because we're working on details, whereas in national teams you're working on basics. And that's why, yeah, it's an interesting experience.
In der letzten Reihe Carrie Howe für Sky, bitte.
Ja, hallo Vincent.
Carrie Howe for Sky last row. Jonas Ubek did not play the under 20 to make it here and to be present.
Ja,
What role is he going to play? Also, Ubik and Neuer, which role are they going to play?
Oder für 2 Wochen oder für einen Monat. Die Rolle von Manu in dieses Turnier ist
Manu's role in this tournament
so weit wie möglich
is to be our number one and to take us as far as possible. He has great leadership skills. There's no doubt about this. And if Manu is ready to go, of course, so we are very happy. But regarding the constellations with the two goalkeepers,
einfach auch sehr, sehr gute Voraussichten mit
We have great requirements
20 Torwart, wie Sie sagen, aber
with
trotzdem eine sehr gute Erfahrung
Jonas'
für ihn, dabei
talent
zu sein.
and his experience
in
from
ein
the
Club
U20s.
WM. Okay, aber dabei zu sein. Und ja,
So it's a great experience for them to be part of this club World Cup. I hope that Manu is going to be able to play, but also with Jonas, I think we have a great perspective. Towards the end of the season, there were some rumors regarding Frank Gers and Malic, your assistants, that could change for a different team. What does this mean for you when some of your stuff is mentioned in the context of different clubs? There's nothing I can say about it, and there are many rumors, not all of them are true. We simply bother
total unwichtig.
about our work, and anything else is just speculations.
We have
All right.
Media activity coming up with Benfica in half an hour, and then another press conference in 1 hour. So thank you for this one, and we like you to stay if you want to, or leave if you want to. But we are leaving now. Thank you.
Thank you.